We're here to solve this Fillomino restriction puzzle by Takeya Saikachi, where the constraint is now that Fillominos can only be 1, 2, or 3 in size. There's a new rule we want to use a lot in this solve, which is to look at any cell that's touching a finished region and see which of the 2 remaining options, sometimes only 1 remaining option, goes in there. But to start, we're going to look at the typical points of tension in the puzzle where we've got clues that are near each other, and 2 2s that are diagonal are always an obvious place of tension. Gets these in the grid. This 3 in the lower left corner also looks like it's pretty constrained because it's got 2 3s nearby it that it can't join with. They're too far apart. They'd be 4 cells apart. And that leaves only these 2 cells to take for it, which finishes this 3, finishes this 3, finishes this 3. Here's a cell that by restriction can't be a 1 because of the digits to its right, and it can't be a 3 because of the digits around it as well. And so 2, 2, and 1 go in there. Here's a cell that can't be a 2 or a 3 because of the ones around it. It must be a 1. This cell on the diagonal can't be a 1 or 3 because of the completed regions near it. This cell can't be a 1 or 3 because of the completed regions near it. So we get those 2 2s, which come out and force this really quickly, forces this 2 shape. We've got 3 cells here that need to be joining into some unmarked number, and they can't be part of a 3 group. So there's going to need to be a 1 and a 2 split for these. And the 2 can't be on the side that's touching this other 2. So 2's on the left, 1 here, that 2 coming across. This cell now sees both a finished 3 and a finished 2, must be a 1. This cell sees a finished 1 and 2, must be a 3. This lower right corner has 3 open cells, and those are going to need to be a full 3 polyomino. Let's come back to the top and do some more around this upper left corner, which we could have done at the start. One of the things is to look at this 2. If it deflected up, it leaves behind 2 empty cells, but there's no way to fill in that pattern, so it's got to go to the right. And going to the right, we're going to get a space where we've got a cell like this, which by the restriction rule is 1 or 3 in size. If it's 3 in size, it grows 1, 2, 3, 4. It gets too large, so this must be a 1. This also now, by restriction rule, could be a 2 or 3, but if it's a 2, it's going to touch to the 2 group, so it's a 3 group. This cell can't be a 3, so it's a 1 or 2. If it's a 2, it touches that 2, so this is always a 1. And now here's a cell that sees a 2 to the left and a 1 to the top. Both of those finished regions must be a 3. These 3's can't all come together through this cell, so this comes here. This has to dodge. We're left behind with 4 cells, which can't be a split of 2 and 2, so must be a split of 1 and 3. Based on restriction rule, those are fast. This 2 and this 3 are both finished, so the only digit for the cell is a 1. This 1 and this 2 leave behind us 1 digit, which is a 3 for this cell. This 2 and this 3 leave behind 1 digit for this cell, which is a 1. 1 and 2 both finished, mean this must be a 3. We've got some more constraints over here. So this 3 and this 1 see this cell, and those are finished digits. So the only digit left is a 2. Leaves behind the only digit for this cell is a 3. Only digit for this cell is a 2. Last digit for this cell is a 1. Here is now probably the sticking point in the puzzle, but hopefully you eventually look back at the cell. And I think it comes, I can do a little more around it first, but I have a 3 or 2 in this cell, and that doesn't tell me so much, but I also have a 3 or 2 in this cell. And the key observation is with this clue, that's 3 more cells away. If a 3 is in here, and a 3 then also goes here, this is forced to take another cell, but joins with this and becomes too large. So 3 can be eliminated from the cell I have right now in the red box. Forcing that this is a 2 gives this as a 2, and gives this last cell as a 3. And that now is going to give enough constraints in the grid, particularly where this 2 and this 1 see this cell, eliminate all the options except for 3 in the cell, which now has to grow out, has to dodge down. This 3 is under tension. It can only grow up 1 cell, but can't go further, comes over to here. This 3 has 1 last cell to take. This 3 is under tension from the left and from the bottom, must come up and over, forms this. We're left with now the last part of the puzzle, which looks to be this whole hidden shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 digits. They're fully surrounded by 3's. So this has to be a 1, 2 chain. And you could take, you're going to have the same number or 1 more of the 2's versus the 1's. And so 3 times 2 plus 4 times 1 looks good, but 4 times 2, 2 times 1, there's not a way that that goes. So I'm going to have 1 more 1 group than 2 groups. So 1 is on the terminus, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1. And we finish the puzzle. So Not necessarily a tricky Thursday as long as you get the right ways to use the full restriction rule, particularly where you've got cells that are near a completed group that either leaves you two options, or sometimes when you're near a lot of completed groups, just one option. You could see actually that chaining pretty fast in this corner. Some of the key cells were just seeing how, for instance, here you couldn't put in a 3, so you had to be a 1 growing out, and even over on the side, the cell not being able to be a 3 because of the 3 clue nearby, forcing a 2, forcing a 2, forcing this last 3 chain. Those were the steps to monitor for, and it may feel a little bit like trial and error, but at some stage when your choices are so limited, you should look very directly at the limited choices and see which ones you can remove, and in doing so, find the logical path through the solution. So really elegant puzzle, really nice finish with that 10 cell region of the 1-2-2 ladder. That's a really fun discovery to close out the puzzle. So thanks to Takeya for this, Fillomino, and we'll see you again soon.